Welcome everyone to our debut of Q&A with Qlik. We are so excited to have all of you here. Some of you may have been familiar with our support webinar, Talk to Experts Tuesday, and we've rebranded that to better highlight what these sessions are about, which is a true live question and answer with us, Qlik. This webinar series is designed to give all of you an hour with a few of our product experts. You can use this time to ask a question on our featured topic and hopefully get the chance to get to know some of us a little bit better. On that note, I am Katie Davis, and I will be your moderator for this session. I am a senior community program manager on our customer success experience programs team, which I know is quite the mouthful, but basically that means our team is here to make sure Qlik users have the best possible digital experience and resources to be successful with all of our Qlik tools. I'm located outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the United States. We're finally getting that fall chilly weather over here, and I'm excited to meet all of you. I'm joined by the infamous Jamie Gregory, who has moderated all of the awesome past Talk to Expert Tuesday sessions. Jamie will be playing a bit of double duty here, as she'll be jumping in sporadically to help me co-host, since this is my first time running the ship. But she is also one of the esteemed experts on this panel today, since she is certainly my go-to expert for all things Qlik Community. Jamie, would you like to say hello and give a quick intro?
Sure. Thank you, Katie. That was amazing. Great job for your first intro. It's a little bit different being on this side of the house, but enjoying it so far. Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Gregory. I've been with Qlik for about 4 years. It's actually 4 years this week. And I am on the community side of the house. I'm a community operations manager here at Qlik. Previously, I was a senior technical support engineer and on the digital team. But I'm happy to be here and answer any questions regarding the Qlik community. So thank you for having me.
Thanks. Now, before I introduce our other panelists, I'd like to cover some housekeeping items for the session. We'll get all the boring stuff out of the way first. Everyone is currently on mute, and we ask that you type your questions in the Q&A panel below. We will not necessarily be using the panel to respond to the questions because we want to speak to them all live today. You should receive a prompt for a survey. Please go ahead and take this survey. It takes less than a minute. It's only about 4 questions, and it'll give you the opportunity to give us a little bit of feedback on these sessions, how we can improve them for you. You can also share ideas for future topics. We love that. We've had some really great suggestions so far. It can be anything from, product specific questions or anything functionality focused on our products. All feedback is appreciated. If you do not receive a prompt for the survey, you can email us further feedback at digital@qlik.com. Or if you think of a topic at a later time, you can use that email address to get in touch with us as well.
And just to add, Katie, too, in taking the survey, we do hold a raffle at the end, and there will be one winner. So that will receive some community Qlik swag.
Awesome. So get to those surveys. You want that swag. I just got some and it's fantastic. Keep in mind that even though we have people joining from the Qlik Support team, we will not be able to answer any questions regarding a specific open case that you may have. And we ask you to keep all the questions specific to today's topic, which brings me to the introduction of today's topic, drum roll. It is the case portal, chatbot, and community. Oh my, this is a little spin on the Wizard of Oz. We want to make sure that everyone on this call today has all the information needed about our new support portal and knows how to use community in all of its glory. So if you have a question about support programs and Qlik community resources, you've come to the right place. Please submit them in our Q&A panel as I introduce our panelists. You've all met Jamie already. We also have joining with us Melissa Potvin, our Director of Qlik Community, Adam Sawyer, who is our Manager of Customer Experience Strategy, Sue Macaluso, our Global Senior Community Manager, and Jin Park, who is our Senior Digital Program Manager. So we'll start with Melissa. Melissa, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Katie. And that was great opening. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to spend time with you today. And I really hope we could do more of these in the future. So hello, everyone from beautiful Long Island, New York. That's where I am based. And I work out of my home. And I think I have the best job in the entire company as the director of Qlik Community. I get a chance to talk to all of you every single day, all our members. And I don't think there's any better job than that. So very happy to be here with you today and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Melissa. To start off with a question for you, as the team lead for Qlik Community, can you give some of our new users an idea of what Qlik Community is?
Sure. And I love that question because I do get that question a lot.
Yeah.
So look, our community has grown exponentially in the past 3 years. We went from 58,000 members to over 130,000 plus. And we're often dubbed internally here at Qlik as the heartbeat of Qlik. And that's because, number one, because of its growth, and number two, because people tend to come to the community first and foremost, right? People purchase the product and then they have questions that they need answers. So what we've been doing is putting this model in place that would allow for all your questions, no matter how it's coming in, whether it's through the bot or whether it's through the case portal or whether it's through the forums, that will get your question answered quickly. So we're coming to you no matter how you come to us. But the community is so much more than that. And what I always tell people is that the community is more than just the one URL. So it's community.qlik.com, but it's so much more than that. I'm going to share my screen because I want to explain to you exactly what I mean. Hopefully everyone can see that okay. So obviously, many of you are probably familiar with our forums, which is the meat and potatoes, if you will, of where all the traffic and all the questions are happening. But if you haven't noticed or seen the Qlik Greenway, which is right here up at the top left, head on over there, because what I mean when I say it's not just one URL, it's because there are many communities here at Qlik, and there are many ways for you, our customers, our partners, to get involved here at Qlik. And we want you to decide that path. What we do here on the community team is try to bring it all together for you through the community so that you have some assistance in navigating all these various communities. So we have Qlik Nation. We've got the Qlik Meetup program. You could potentially consider to be a meetup captain. We have our community MVP program, which we just relaunched. We have our Qlik Luminary 50, which is an amazing program here at Qlik. We've got our partner ambassadors. So again, you can get as involved in community as you want. The decision on how far you want to take your journey with Qlik is up to you. And if you have any very specific questions about the forums or how to navigate throughout the community, we'll take those questions at any time today. Thanks, Katie.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. I definitely think that'll help put our conversation into context today. And then our next panelist is Adam Sawyer. Adam, would you like to give yourself a quick introduction?
Hey, everybody. My name's Adam, formerly TSE with QlikSense, and then a program manager, architect for some of our internal technology projects. And so I'll be talking today about the newly added support portal inside of the community, why and how we made some of the decisions we made, and how we hopefully are going to make a better customer experience for all of our Qlik users.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Adam, because my first question to you was if you could share what the main drivers behind why Qlik wanted to make this move, since you were definitely one of the essential players in helping make this possible.
Absolutely. I'm happy to answer that today. So when you think about it, Melissa's right. The community really is the heartbeat of Qlik in a lot of ways. And a year, 2 years ago, you may have gone to a number of different portals, whether it was support.qlik.com or help.qlik.com or, the community, right? And so ultimately what we wanted to do was both improve the customer experience, but also go where our users are, right? We wanted to make that experience easier. We wanted to make that experience more modern in terms of its UI. And what we wanted to do was take advantage of the broader lessons learned, digital resources, and involvement of our Qlik community. And so for that, we added in the case portal, which used to be on support.qlik.com, and made it a part of the community. But we also did a lot more than that. We simplified the way that cases can be created. We added a chatbot that integrates with both Salesforce live chat, which we use internally, and that can answer, a lot of questions in an automated way to make it even easier for you to work with us. So that's the idea. That's why we did it. And honestly, this is just 1.0. We're going to be making constant improvements over the next year, and to try to do even better to improve that experience.
That's awesome. Thank you, Adam. I'm excited to see what's ahead. So Sue, would you like to introduce yourself? You're next.
Sure. So hello, everyone. I'm Sue Macaluso. And as Katie said, I'm the Senior Global Community Manager, responsible mostly for the moderation in the community, event promotions. So most of you who have been in community definitely have seen my name, and we've probably even interacted together. I'm also the head of the MVP program. So I work directly with all of our MVPs. And I also do a little of the back end work, as life went on and resources were slim. I had to learn everything about community. So you can ask me anything about community and I'll probably have an answer for you. Whether you like it or not, it's another story.
I can attest to that. You've helped me with all of my community questions. So thank you, Sue. And last but not least, Jen Park. Jen?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jen Park, the Senior Digital Support Program Manager. I own the digital support chatbot that you guys might have seen on the community now. And I also work closely under Adam to work with him on some of the internal technology that support uses.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Now I'll jump into the user questions. We have some already from registration. I see that we already have one question in the chat, but go ahead and keep on putting those questions in the Q&A panel. Let me pull up the first question here. Jen, I think this first one might be for you. It is, why is a case opened after I talk with the chatbot?
Sure. So one of the struggles with that the customers were facing with Qlik Support is sometimes it's very challenging, and the level of effort to get in touch with someone at Qlik Support has always been a little bit on the high side. And now that with Chatbot, customers can easily and quickly get in touch with Qlik Support engineers, rather through live chat or creating the case through the chatbot itself. You don't have to go to separate page and stuff. You can ask questions to the chatbot, and if the chatbot can answer, it will provide the answer. But when it's a question that the chatbot does not have answers to, it will give you an option to create a case or get on live chat to resolve that issue for you right away with ease and quickly as possible.
Thank you, Jen. I'm also going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. I am in community. This is our case portal, what it would look like to open a new case. But I want to let everyone know that if you want to chat with us, we have this blue bubble at the bottom of every support page. So on the top ribbon, we have 5 sub pages. On every support page, you'll see help, and that's how you can quickly chat with us. And then the chat bot will either directly answer your question, it can connect you to a live agent, or you can create a case from that little help button. So going into my next questions, this one is the $1 million question. We've gotten a lot of this on community, and we've made even some recent changes, so I'm excited to talk about it today. It's, where are my closed cases from the previous support portal? So I don't know which one of you want to jump in on that. I'll pause.
I can, Katie. So let me share my screen. So let me share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So what you'll see here is the case portal itself. This is the new design, right? And if you are able to see the case portal here, you'll see just a link that says view license or archived cases. So as a part of the upgrade, there were certain parts of the system that had to be left in the old system. You may have noticed this as, hey, where is the downloads page? Hey, I used to be able to check my left. And then the aforementioned archived cases, right? So what we've done is the old support portal is still out there, right? If you go to a specific URI, QS homepage, right, or any of the other knowledge base articles or any of the other subpages, it's still there for you, right? But what we've done for those people that still want to see their archive cases, maybe you're a partner and you used old cases more as like a solution archive. Maybe there are particular chat comments that you had in one of those old cases that you want to see, right? What you can do is click on the link that I just showed you and then go to legacy cases, right? This is going to take you to a read-only version of all of your open and closed cases that were previously archived in the old system, right? You'll be able to see chatter comments. You'll be able to see attachments. If maybe you were within the 90-day window and you had attachments on that old case, you'll be able to download those. The only thing you wouldn't be able to see is maybe your case got created through our old live chat. You wouldn't be able to see your chat transcripts. But if there's anything there that you want to see or any other questions you have, we do have other avenues talking directly to support to try to get you that data or information. And we'll talk a little bit later than that in the webinar. Are there any follow-up questions?
Let's see. All right, I'm already logged in. Why does it take me to log in when I click on the Legacy Cases tab?
That's a great question. So even though Qlik has adapted this single sign-on, those cookies aren't necessarily the same, right? It's kind of a technical answer. What that means is you may only have one login, but the login may not be shared between the old portal and the new. We can look at this as an improvement request just to make it a little bit easier on people, but you will need to log in again. Great question.
Awesome, thank you. I'm also going to post in the chat so everyone can see we do have a knowledge base article out there. And hold on, here we go. We have a knowledge base article that if you want a download still of all of your case history, you can submit a case with the specific drop-down questions to get that download of your historical case data. All right.
Yeah,
so
real quick, Katie, they also made a comment that it happens a lot on the Qlik site. So if you could just let us know specifically which Qlik site, if it's like an overall Qlik architecture thing, we can take it back to IT if needed. But if you can just let us know which site you're talking about specifically, that would be helpful.
Thank you.
Yep. And then as a follow-up, yes, you do still have to hit legacy cases once you go to the page. It's a redirect to the old portal, and then you have the available options to you, whether that's downloads, whether that's licenses, or whether that's archived cases.
Right. All right, and we can come back to that if there's more questions on the closed case history. There's another question in our Q&A panel, and it says, I went in yesterday to update our environments since we've just completed some upgrades, but couldn't figure out where to do it. Help. So
I'll take that question.
Thanks, Adam.
So let me share my screen again. So as a part of the transformation into the new portal, we had a limited time frame in the resources and the things that we could do, right? One of the things that we noticed through client research is that there was an environments tab in the old portal that was used by some clients, it wasn't used by others, right? And overall, the feedback we got from the community is that it's mixed, right? Like, it's a great to have a place where you can store environment data, but it's really up to you, the user, to kind of know to update it, right? Just like you were trying to do. You were being a good support user, make sure those are updated for your cases, right? Well, one of the things that we have on the roadmap for future iterations, right, is, we're a software company. We would like to be able to provide you what environments we know about based on telemetry or based on other things, right? So that's a roadmap item. In the meantime, though, what we've tried to do as a part of the case creation process, if I go and create a case really quick, here's the new case create. Let's say I have a product related issue. Let's say that I'm at SaaS because that's where I'm at. What we actually want to do is we want to capture that data at the time of the creation, right? These are free text fields. You can fill them in with URLs, with what version of the software you're on, right? But it's really a top level selection of saying, hey, this is what I'm dealing with in this current moment, right? We felt like this was a really good middle ground between having these static environments that may or may not be updated by users, may or may not be used, versus having sort of real-time, up-to-date information that you can provide. Obviously, in the future, as we look to increase the level of self-service that we have within the portal, we want you to be able to select, hey, what subscription is this involved in? Which license is this related to? Those sorts of things, not from a, hey, is this supported or is this not supported, right? We want to support you. We want to make sure that you're being successful with our products. This is just about equipping the engineer that's working with you with the information they need to troubleshoot your issue. So there are no longer kind of static environments. That's gone away. What is there is the information that you can provide in the case itself.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. So another question, I think I've seen a couple of these, is how can I see my organization's cases? So this is probably to do with, adding stakeholders to each case that is in your organization. I do know we have a knowledge base article out there for this. It is something that we can flip the switch on our end. It's an added control for our customers. So if you go ahead and open a case and ask for that permission, we can easily give that permission to you. I will post that link in for everyone. Is there anything anyone wants to add to that?
Yeah, and once you have that permission, what you will see on your case is you'll see 3 gray dots that says view my cases or view my organization's cases. I don't know, do we want to show that?
Yeah, I can show it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because I think, yep. So let me share my screen again. There we go. So here's the support portal. You can see that I don't have any cases, right? If I go over to resolved, these are going to be all of the cases that are in closed or solution proposed status, right? But if I go to open, what I can do is click my organization's cases, and you would see all of the cases that are available to me as a supervisor, right? And I'm not going to do that today just because I don't want to necessarily show those on the webinar, but this is what you would see. We've gotten a lot of questions as to why we did this, right? Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to put the ability for you to manage how you work with support in your hands, right? In the old system, we sort of defaulted to this view of, I can see all of the cases that are working in my account. That was really great for the people that wanted it, right? I can work as a team, I can do all these great things, right? But it was really not great for people that didn't want it, or that wanted to give people a more limited view of maybe your individual workers need to work specifically with your cases, and maybe the supervisor or some sort of team lead needs to be able to see everyone's cases, right? And so this is sort of the first step towards more of a self-service model for how you work with support. You're going to see across our roadmap, across all of our Qlik support sites, and as we work with the community team, that we are going to increasingly try to give you choice about how you work with us, whether that's the accounts you work with, whether that's the cases people can see, whether that's the license people can download, right? This is going to be an ongoing strategy that you see from Qlik entering into fiscal year 22.
Thank you. And yeah, my role before this was coming from a heavily regulated environment, so I definitely see the use of that. We do have another question in the Q&A panel, but I'm going to ask one more because I see how it can kind of piggyback off of what we just were discussed. There was a question on how can I get notifications for cases that others in my company open?
I'll answer this one, Katie. So
Thank you.
we do have the ability internally to add what we call external stakeholders, which would be other people with contact records in our Salesforce, to be able to get notifications from cases. This is, again, separate from the ability to view cases, right? We've heard a lot of feedback about how people want these to work together. And I think what you'll see is that we will try to externalize that sometime in the coming months, and just know that there are improvements coming with related to those issues, right?
Awesome, thank you. All right, so question in our Q&A panel. Subscription SaaS customers can now raise tickets directly through this portal, which is great because it means we don't have to play middleman relaying responses. It does mean we may be kept out of the loop. Is there a way to ensure that we are informed of any tickets raised by our customers? So I think this might be coming from a partner side of the house.
That's right. So as a part of that self-service, one of the things you're going to see is the way that partners interact with us is different. So you do have the Zift portal where you would be able to view, or the partner portal powered by Zift, where you would be able to go and view your customer subscriptions. You would be able to do other partner related work related to reselling and OEM and all that, right? We have that in the partner portal. We have as a roadmap item to add more flexibility, both for accounts that are supported by partners and for partners themselves to directly help with those accounts, right? None of that's been rolled out yet because we're still working on some of that design in terms of how we would do that from a data perspective, right? I know one of the questions we've received earlier was related to, well, what do I do in the meantime, right? So that's great, you're working on it, but what do I do in the meantime? What we're going to see is if you want to have your customers submit cases, then we internally, upon their request in the case itself, can add you as a stakeholder. If you as a partner want to submit the case and then let us know, we can add that as an affected account so that your customers would be able to see it in their portal if they have the correct permissions. Those are really your two options, right? And so it is a manual process right now. We know that's a bit of a problem for certain partner use cases, and we're taking that into account, and we're trying to come up with what we think is going to be a better design for overall enabling partners to enable their customers.
Thank you, Adam. And there was another question that popped in. How do we enable followers in new case portal? This goes along with our other question on getting notifications about cases. In the case that you open, make sure you message your support agent that you'd like to add these people, and they will get those notifications and they can follow that case. So another question, let's see. This one I think was similar to the same partner question. Why can't we see our subscription customers in the support portal to log tickets? Adam just went through some options to make that possible, and it's on our roadmap. And then there was a question, how do I upload data greater than 75 megabytes?
So we do know that that's a limitation currently in the new case portal. The way it was designed was to be able to use 2 gigabytes. We have a ticket open with the vendor to try to get that back to what we had during testing and design, right? So it's going to be very, very similar to what it was in the old portal as soon as that defect is fixed, right? Where you'll be able to upload files 2 gigabytes or less, right? For any other ones that are less than 2 gigabytes once it's fixed, or more than 2 gigabytes once it's fixed, there are a number of options. For some of our QDI customers, they do have access to File Cloud for a select number of those where that was contractually agreed upon. For others, we do have the FTP site available for those customers, and we have a knowledge base article that we can share out after the fact of how to use FTP working with support. So while that bug is still happening, that's totally an option, but I would say defer to your technical support engineer that's helping you, because they'll tell you the best way for them to get that file from you depending on its size.
Thanks. And I think similarly along these lines, can we specify users to be added to a list so they always receive notification for any ticket created for our organization, or is this only case by case? I believe right now it's case by case. Is that correct? Yes, I
That's
see
right.
some heads nodding. Okay.
Yeah, that's sorry. I coughed,
Yeah.
so I muted myself. But yes, that's correct. It is case by case. Again, it is a part of our roadmap to add even more self-service so you can work with us the way we want. We can obviously take that as feedback and then try to work that into our upcoming designs.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Okay, I had an open case that moved with the portal migration and lost all my comments. How do I see those? I would also, as we get someone to respond, one of our experts, I want to share across our FAQ document that I think will be useful for everyone on the call. I'll quickly show you how I navigate to that. So I am sharing my screen now. Under our top ribbon here in Qlik Community, under About, if you make your way over to Get Started, it's the perfect way to get started with our support portal. The very top article here is our FAQs, and it also is tracking some of our known issues. So we can kind of show what is, on the list to be resolved. A lot of them have been thus far, but we have a quick list of our FAQs, some of the questions you might see familiar that were asked already today. And I believe we have one on this question of case comments, right? Why can't I see my past case comments on the open cases? So I'll let someone on the call talk through this, but I just wanted to share this additional resource.
Absolutely. And I guess I can answer it, Katie. So as part of the system transition, we moved from case chatter to case comments, right? As you can see here in the FAQ. Let me tell you why we did that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, our usage of case chatter was really, really customized, right? There are a number of other use cases that of people that use that way, but to set that up requires just a lot of customization that makes upgrading Salesforce really, really difficult, right? So as a part of that internal technology decision, when we moved to case comments, there was no way of taking the case chatter, which is this threaded, XML export, and then just plugging it into a case comment, which is a more static HTML resource, right? So we've received lots of feedback from people saying, hey, this was really less than ideal, right? It was necessitated. Any other support organization that went through a case chatter to a case comments transition would have experienced the same thing, right? One of the things that we're looking at in terms of feedback is there a place for chatter? Can we add it back with sort of minimal effort and with, but adding maximal value, right? So we don't get into a place where we can't upgrade Salesforce because it's really customized, but it provides that threaded experience that people have kind of come to know and love from support. As a part of that, though, where we really see ourselves going from a technology roadmap perspective, right, to kind of get a little bit further than the question, but maybe answer the question behind the question, we really want to utilize Chatbot and live chat, right? We want to be in the product. We want to be using it as you use it. We want to be able to provide you digital resources and help in using the software and implementing the software and planning to use the software where you're at, right? And so that sort of immediate feedback, one of the things we want to do is we want to get away from that maybe in cases, but we want to get to that in the product where you are, right? So that's going to kind of guide our roadmap in the coming year. And we hope that we will find the right balance of that immediate feedback versus making something that can be upgraded and imported and used for a long time to come.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. So the next question, I think I might want to ship off to you, Sue. It says, I'm logged in with my community account I've had for years, but cannot see the case portal. Is there any reasons why that may be?
It depends on how you're logged in. If you're logged in with your business account and in Salesforce, you are marked as a customer. Only customers, partners, and luminaries can see the case portal. So that would mean that you're not in with a customer account, or if you are in with your business account, there could be a sync issue where we can manually update you to customer. So on that note, I would encourage you to either send Jamie or I a private message in the community, Sue_Macaluso, and just let me know who you are, your email address, and I will look into it for you.
Thank you, Sue. Can we show them how they would be able to send a direct message?
Sure, I can do that.
I'll stop sharing.
Let me share my screen. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay. Got too much stuff up. All right, share screen. Share screen. All righty. So here we are. Here's the private message section right here. If you just come in here to the little envelope.
Yeah, see, Sue.
Are you not sharing?
Yeah, I don't see the screen yet.
Oh my, hold on.
There's always that extra step.
Oh yeah, it's called the extra step called share. I just hit the screen. Okay, so if you come in here, you can see it now, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you come to any page actually in the community, you will see this little envelope. That's your private message section. So you would just open that up very simply, and let me move everyone over. And this little pencil, just create your message. And you just put the username of who you're sending it to. So in this case, it would be Sue_Macaluso, and you'll see my name on the screen, or Jamie_Gregory, and send us a message and we'll look into that for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I've
You're
gotten
welcome.
some direct messages on this portal and it's been really helpful. I've been able to answer them right away.
Or even just, I would suggest to the user that asked that question, you could just put your information in the chat. We could look into
Yeah,
it.
you can do that as well.
Yeah. And then there's another piece of feedback, which I do love. They say it's a real persnickety question, but I don't think so. It says, it would be great if the created date and last modified dates on the case portal displayed in date, month, year format rather than month, date, year, or have the option to switch. Only USA and Canada use the latter. I thought it was only USA, but agreed. We will take that back and see if that's possible. I can't speak to what our system limitations are, but we do like these types of feedback. We want to make sure user experience is easiest for all involved. Okay, let me pull up. I think we have a few more questions. Again, don't hesitate.
Hey, Katie, just really quick, yes. Sorry. There was kind of another comment in there as well that they said that they didn't have any warning and they just kind of like logged into the old support portal one day to find that it had moved and they couldn't see their open cases. And so first of all, we do want to apologize for that experience if that was something that you did experience. If I can just share really quickly, we did have some banners and announcements throughout the community as well as the support portal itself. But if you happen to miss those, what I would suggest doing is going up here to support and then support updates blog. And I'm subscribed right now, but if you're unsubscribed to that, there will be a green subscribe button. And you can subscribe to the support updates blog. You'll get notifications about all kinds of things. Definitely the portal was one of these blogs that were written by Katie herself. We have things about products, if there's any issues with products that are happening, and just general outages within the cloud, anything like that. You can get updates regarding Qlik Support by subscribing to this blog, or just checking in daily if you prefer that, if you don't, because you will get emails and things like that when Katie posts blogs. But if you want to subscribe to that, then you'll have notifications like that, and you'll be guaranteed to get information regarding changes like that.
So Jamie, is there anything we want to touch upon regarding notifications, daily digest?
Yeah, I mean, we do have different settings within the community itself, so you can receive email notifications. It'll probably just take me a minute to find them, but under my settings here, and then subscriptions and notifications. There are different settings. Let me see, notification settings. You can see all the stuff that I'm subscribed to there. But there's different options here, and you can get daily digest, like responses to other replies, comments. You can get notifications within community itself, and that's of course here at the top with the little bell. But you can go through here, and I believe there's also a article on this in the Get Started portion on about Get Started that will kind of walk you through the different settings. But you can select here for a daily digest, a weekly digest. So you can get emails and just kind of get updates throughout the day or throughout the week of things that have been happening, that are happening out in Qlik Community.
Yeah, and Jamie showed you that subscribe button on the support updates blog, but that subscribe button is site-wide. So you could subscribe to forums, you could subscribe to various pages in the community. And as these pages are updated, you'll receive that notification. The daily digest is definitely not something to overlook.
That's great. That also kind of feeds into what I wanted to point out as we were talking about subscriptions, is that this is a great way. You can also follow threads in our forums and groups. So Jamie, I'll let you hover over the different product forums that we have. But whether you're a Qlik Sense, Qlik View user, you're in our data integration products, we're always adding new products on this roadmap as new ones come out. This will really help get you that like specified feedback, and you can crowdsource questions. You can see how other users are doing their best practices, and you can follow any of these threads. Usually, if you're having an issue, other people are as well. So you'll find a lot of it in these specific forums. And so that goes back to what Adam was saying of one of the reasons behind why we wanted to move the support portal over here is, yes, you can always get in touch with us on support, but now you also have a much broader network of people who are in the same position as you, using the same tools as you. So I definitely like those features.
Yeah, and just really quick, when we say banners and announcements and everything like that, these are the banners and announcements that we're talking about. It's the purple line across the top. You can see they can be different throughout the pages. So if you're on different pages, you might see a different banner announcement pop up. But these are the announcements that we're kind of talking about. And I believe like on the former support portal, it was like at the top, and it would scroll through different announcements if they were available. But there's usually links that that'll take you somewhere to get more information too.
Yep, and we also, sometimes you'll see a pop-up footer. I think we still have one on the support page. So because we can't stack the banners and have more than one announcement at the moment, if it's really important, in this case, you'll see that the pop-up footer on the support pages, just, with an alert and links as well.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, that's where we put our big ticket items right there for you. And while we're sharing the screen, one of the questions on our submitted list is, how do I find my license information? I go to the link, the same link I always have, and it redirects me to the community portal. And I believe Jamie and Sue had just added a new link for us to get there easily.
Yeah, Adam mentioned it earlier. You can go here to support and then case portal and then view license and archived cases. It will take you to the old portal, and then you'll be able to access your license information. You will have to log in again, unfortunately, but you will be able to then access your license information.
Awesome. All right, so we have one more question. So if you guys have more questions, make sure that you get them in the Q&A panel now, or else once we finish this, we'll give you some of your time back. This question is specific to creating a case in the case portal. They want to know what's the difference between a product and account issue. I think that's one of the first questions you're asked when you go ahead and submit a case.
I can answer that. So when you create a case, thank you for whoever's sharing.
You're welcome.
You're going to get this problem type. So if you scroll over the information box next to problem type, so account related is really issues with Qlik accounts, a new entitlement, or systems access, right? These are questions that are answered by our customer support team, or our customer experience team now. I think they've experienced a name change, but so they're going to, someone laughed at that joke and I appreciate that. So what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to help you with that systems access. They're going to be able to work with IT, financial ops, all of these other teams to make sure that the systems are working as designed, right? This would be who you would submit cases to if you were having problem with the support portal. They're also going to be the ones that are answering questions if you go through the chatbot and get forwarded or escalated to a live chat, right? This is that team. If you have a product related issue, this is our product support team, right? So this is whether you're enterprise, your signature, whether you're QDA, QDI, or SaaS, this is going to be the team that helps you with product related issues, right? So they're going to be able to answer questions about errors or defects that you're having. They're going to be able to answer how-to or implementation questions to a limited degree, and be able to refer you to whoever else in the services organization you would need to talk to, whether that's CSM, CSE, or whether that's professional services themselves. So that's sort of the defining. So one is non-technical questions related to customer support. One is technical questions related to customer support.
Awesome, thank you. And that'll help us get to your answer quicker because we have the right people on the other end answering it for you. Okay, it looks like that's most of our questions today. I'll give a quick plug for our next session. So actually this Thursday, our Techspert Talks webinar is covering application automation, which is one of our fairly new QDI products. And they do more of a deep dive presentation of best practices and how you can use the tool with a short Q&A. So then our November 9th topic for Q&A with Qlik will be on the same piece, so you can do any follow-up questions on application automation as well. We'll have those invites out within the next week for you guys to register. All of our events and webinars are under support programs on Qlik Community. Jamie, are you still sharing your screen?
Yeah,
Jamie,
sorry.
yeah, so maybe take them to the events page, because that's where we will advertise upcoming events. There's actually two ways that you'll see it now. So here on the events and webinar page, I would totally urge you to subscribe. And this way you'll know what events are happening, and if some are on demand, some are live. And then if you're interested, and this is where we will post all our Q&A with Qlik, as well as Q&A with Qlik also appears on the support portal under Q&A with Qlik for support programs. But don't leave this page yet, Jamie. I'm going to give my plug for upcoming roadmap that was just posted. It's the first event there, and that's going to be covering data analytics in December. So if you subscribe to this page as we put up a new event, you'll be alerted, and this way you can, and this is how you'll register. The other way that you can register for these events is on the right rail of the product forums and groups right now. You will see upcoming events. These are not for on-demand events, but they are for upcoming events. The roadmap will be going up there today since it's brand new. So you'll see that all the groups and all the product forums for any upcoming events as well.
And just so you're aware that clicking yes does not mean that you're registered for the event. So make sure you do click on the event itself and then register for the event as well.
I think, Jamie, if you click yes, it opens it up.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, the roadmap events. So look, we partner with many lines of business across the company, product management being one of them. And this is a dedicated session that they're giving to community members, and they're happening once a quarter. So definitely be on the lookout for the roadmap sessions. Those are not recorded, so you must attend live.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind if we can just spend 30 seconds, Jamie, on gallery. I would love to just point out the gallery. This speaks to some of the other things. If you're not familiar with Qlik Gallery, this is a location in the community where you could share your apps. And the apps are organized by vertical. So if you work in public sector or if you work in retail industry, you can use the labels, which you can subscribe to labels, by the way, and that's site-wide. So you could subscribe to retail and get notifications anytime someone posts an app in your industry. So this is really taking off in the community. It started as the poster project. If any of you went to Connections, Qlik Connections, which is now Qlik World. But yeah, this is also a great part of the community.
And there is one last question, which I do want to touch on briefly, just because I know I had the same questions when I joined Qlik. There are a lot of ways to find resources. There's learning at Qlik, there's help.qlik, there's community.qlik, and so on. Can we describe some of the differences between them? I will try to tackle this, but please, my more senior people jump in when possible. So learning at Qlik is definitely that guided training I would recommend to anyone who's onboarding the product and just wants to know, how do I start here and how do I use this product? Help.qlik, I would say, is very product specific. So it's about the applications that you purchase. And then community is what we were sharing today, which is where everyone can network with each other. They can crowdsource solutions. And we just focused on the support portal underneath. So we help any kind of account or technical questions in support.
Lori, you're touching on a hot topic. We get this question all the time, all the time. It's definitely a conversation within Qlik. There are differences between the two sites. We did, make the bi-directional link so you can get to the community from help and to help from community. But we recognize that to customers, it could be a gap in a seamless customer experience. So trust me, there's conversations about this, but you bring up a good point. So thank you.
I would like to add too that under support here, we do have this section called product news. And this is where you can find the release notes now. So previously they were only in the downloads portal. Mm-hmm. Some of them are still in the downloads portal. I would expect that those are going to be moved to community. It's either by the end of the year or first quarter next year. And so you can find the release notes here for Qlik Sense, Enterprise, Qlik Application Automation, all the connectors there. Something else I don't know if we can really even talk about it that much, but I would look into the future a little bit. You'll probably see the downloads coming specifically here to Qlik Community, whether it's just like linking to the page or something like that. We are trying to, as to your point, condense the number of sites that you're navigating to, so you really have like a one-stop shop with everything in it. So look forward to some more changes in the future.
Yeah. So thank you everyone on the call for your time. Thank you, Sue.
Katie, they think there was one more comment.
One more. Okay.
Um,
yes. Oh, okay. Someone might have to take this one. I'm not familiar with this. There's demos.qlik.com/QlikSense. Has a lot of demo apps. Is it the same sort of stuff as Gallery?
So Gallery is created by the users. So it's all of you creating apps and then sharing them. The demos.qlik.com, I believe most of those are built by our demos team. And they're used for like POCs and everything like that. So you can access those. And with the demos.qlik.com, you can also, a lot of them can be downloaded, and you can actually download the app and install it in your environment and configure it. Whereas with the Gallery, it is more of like an image of, you know, the app or a screenshot of the app itself, and maybe some information about that app, how it helps their company, any insights that what insights they get from that app. So they are a little bit different, but I would encourage you to take a look at both of them. But here's just an example of one of the Qlik Gallery apps. Some people do attach the app. They do have that ability, but not everyone does. So with the demos.qlik.com, you'll probably be able to download those apps, and they're kind of to show you more of the features within Qlik itself as well. Patrick Nordstrom, if you're familiar, product manager for visualizations, he's really good about creating those apps and allowing you to plug them in and play around and learn the capabilities of the product itself. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, hopefully you can explore all of these. They're all available for you. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Jamie, for helping me out this first time around and answering all of our questions. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa, Adam, Sue, and Jin. We really appreciate all of your help and more of these to come. So don't forget the survey, everyone, and have a great week.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you all for joining our Q&A with Qlik session, Case Portal, Chatbot, and Community. Oh my. We had a great time chatting with all of you, and we loved the feedback you provided. There was a great turnout with the survey, and so now we wish you all luck as we pick the swag winner of all who filled out the survey. So I'll let Jamie go ahead and spin the wheel.
All right, here we go. Get excited, everyone. Okay, lucky number 6.
Woo! Congrats!
All
number
right.
6.
Well, let me just figure out who that is.
Who
just
that
give me
is.
1 second.
Yeah.
Lucky number 6 is Sivan Moodley. So Sivan, we will be reaching out to you and to get your address and all your information, and we'll be sending you some Qlik swag. So get excited. So thank you everyone once again for joining us, and we'll have more information on our next session. You can find that on the new page for Q&A with Qlik. We'll have that up shortly, so you can go ahead and register. Let me just show you really quick where everything is. So if we go to support and then programs, Q&A with Qlik.
Yeah. Thanks for filling out the survey. More surveys to come.
More sessions to come. We'll have them up
Super
on
excited
the
to have
page
you
very
join.
soon. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.